Guys, gardening season is right around the corner, but before you do anything, don't do anything yet. Our next guest has a few important tips you should keep in mind. Here with her best spring gardening do's and don'ts is Jen Reynolds, editor-in-chief of Harris Magazine. Good to have you in studio.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, and this is perfect timing too. So let's start with your first tip, because you say to plant evergreens in the spring.
That's right. You'll notice they are the superstars of the garden. So they are the things that have stayed green and beautiful all year round.
Yeah.
And they're starting to come out, all the new growth right now, so it's nice and fresh. So look at the spots where you have, some negative spots right now, and think of where you can put more green so it looks even better next year.
Oh, nice.
Evergreens, super important. They're also a great spot for all the birds and the bugs and stuff like that to hide over the winter, so you're giving some shelter to your space. Very super important too. And evergreens also come in blue. We have a blue star juniper here too. There's yellow, all kinds of colors too. So
love that. Okay, what's another type of plant that we should make space for in our garden?
Cutting gardens, super important. So we always want to bring in those fresh flowers. Super expensive to go to the store right now and buy them. So grow them in your garden. And I love natural flowers. Things like solidago asters and veronica. All kinds of natural flowers look so pretty, and they're great for our well-being too.
Yeah.
So they really make us feel better. Lots of studies show that they improve our mood. So cut flowers are super important.
That's such a great suggestion. A lot of people put a lot of money into designing the garden, but you're saying that we don't necessarily need to do that. Let's get nature to do the designing for you. What do you mean by that?
That's right. So nature is all around us. I brought in some of my birch stumps and some pine cones and stuff like that. These are the kind of things that I love to have in my garden so that they look beautiful and natural. And at Harris Magazine, we love a natural garden. We want to welcome the birds and the bees and the pollinators, the butterflies and the ladybugs. So doing things like designing with sticks. This is a willow stick. Okay. It's super pliable, and you can even just trim some of the sticks from your branches that you're doing right now, from your shrubs, and you can add them. This is a clematis that I have, and this is something that we can put in and add to our supports and grow them instead of having like the plastic tchotchkes that are in the garden.
So you can make this a little bit more interesting and textured and layered, right?
There's not a lot of rules. I don't really like having rules in the garden, and I don't follow the rules. But the one thing that you definitely want to do is stay away from synthetic materials. So the more nature you have in the garden, the better it's going to be. And you invite those bugs in, you invite the pollinators to come in, and they're going to take care of your vegetable garden. They're going to take care of your trees, all of those things.
Do you like what I'm doing? I'm going with a higher angle.
I love it. See, there's nothing, there's no wrong. You can play and sculpt and do all kinds of great things too. And even on top of your plants, so that you don't have raw soil like with a clematis, you can even put like your pine cones on top, and it just looks super pretty. It does. It's really nice. Nature gives us all kinds of design elements, so let's work with her.
Can we talk about pruning? Because Kelsey was asking me off camera to ask you, because right now we had such nice weather, so a lot of flowers have come out, and now the concern is like, what happens now if there's a frost again? Is there anything we can do before we get to the pruning? Is there anything we can do to sort of save the garden?
Well, nature is going to take care of the gardens, so we don't really have to worry too much about it. If they're perennials and they've been planted and they're in the ground, they will be fine. Yep, they'll do the thing. They'll close up. They'll shelter themselves from the wet. They're very smart. Nature is super smart.
Nature is awesome.
It will take care of itself too.
So in terms of pruning, what would you recommend?
Well, this is the #1 question that we always get, is when to prune your hydrangea. And for most varieties, like the big Annabelle hydrangea and the PG hydrangea with the cone flowers, you prune them now because they bloom on new growth. So you'd want to take out like any of these bits like this and prune it all the way down and just kind of clean it up like this.
All the way down?
Yeah, well, you want it down to this. You see these little green buds? I dug this out of my garden last night, to bring here so that I could show you how it works. But you see all these like little green leaves? Just prune back down to that, and those are the new growths that you're going to have the buds grow on, and you just get rid of this.
Start doing that. Jen, thank you so much for coming in.
You're
timely,
welcome.
obviously.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great.
I want to mention, for more gardening tips, check out the latest edition of Harris Magazine. We're going to be right back. Jen, thanks.
Great, thank you. I know, see, I love, and you've got all the little I know.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.